Dom here from Essential RC. Thanks for tuning in for another flight test. I've got the latest in GPS RC helicopters. This is YUXIANG's F119S Little Bird Attack helicopter. So what do I mean by GPS helicopter? Well, because it has GPS technology, that means it knows where it is in the world and it can hover on the spot. If you take your fingers off the sticks, then it will do its best to hover over that spot. Also means that it has a return to home feature. Should you tell it to return to home, or if the battery should go low on either the transmitter or the helicopter itself, or if you should get a fail-safe situation, which is important, if you lose the link between the radio transmitter and the receiver on the helicopter. So some really good features that you do get by virtue of having GPS technology on one of these RC helicopters. So let's take the components out of the box and let's see what you get. Okay, so first thing, it does come in this really nice box. Two catches, and open that. And all the components really nicely protected inside with this customized foam insert. So you get everything. You get the helicopter, the battery, the charger for that battery, and the radio transmitter, and the instructions as well. So this is a 16th scale MD500 helicopter, which they've decided to call the Little Bird Attack helicopter. So let's take the radio transmitter out first. This is pretty much the standard radio transmitter you get with YUXIANG GPS helicopters. So you've got auto and manual. You can turn off the stabilization, lock and unlock, which is very important. You've got auto landing, GPS, but also if you fly indoors, obviously you won't be able to get GPS lock on satellites, so you can put it on a non-GPS mode, which uses optical flow for positioning. Not as accurate as GPS, but it does work quite well. Then over here you've got automatic figure eight and automatic circuit flying as well. Make you look good in front of your friends. So moving on from that, you've got the helicopter itself. Pull this out carefully. There you go. I guess the landing gear needs to be attached. I'll do that in a minute. Two batteries in my case, which is good. The charger. So that's the cradle that it goes into, which with an XT30, so you could use your own hobby charger if you want, but otherwise it comes with this 2 to 4S charger. And then I've got landing gear, which just looks like it just pushes in place. Spare main blade, spare tail blade. Got rocket launcher in here and machine guns. So I need to attach those. And what else in here? I've got some tools, should I need to replace anything. So I'll assemble it now and let's get it on its first flight. Okay, so 4 AA's in the radio transmitter and the flight battery in the helicopter. Make sure the clips in the battery are engaged with the fuselage so it doesn't fall out. Then you need to, after you've turned on the transmitter, you need to make sure this switch is down so it's locked. Make sure this one is in the middle position for GPS. Make sure this one is up for auto. And then we've just got to wait until we get satellites. You can see that here at the top. Tells me I've got 17 at the moment. Gives me the battery status on the helicopter and the transmitter. So we're ready to go. Unlock, sticks down and to the outside. So after takeoff, if you take your hands off the sticks, it will literally just hover there by itself. So this is the benefit of GPS. There is a bit of wind today. If I show you the windsock there, 10 to 15 miles an hour of wind. And again, hands off the sticks, it just stays there. So back home, because it started raining, but it gave me time to think on the way home about the things I wanted to cover. So assembly first, the landing gear, you have to, these are separate in the box and you have to take them off to get the fuselage back in the box, unfortunately, but that's the MD500 for you. But secured with 4 bolts, they are hex head bolts, so they're not going to damage easily, so quite easy to do at the field. I wouldn't adapt to do it any other way. Then you've got the rocket launchers, and there's a machine gun and something else to put on here. They are quite delicate. These rocket launchers, missile launchers, are quite easy to fix on, but the other bits are more delicate, so be very careful how you attach those. The battery, is really big, 3,500 milliamp hour 3-cell, bigger than most of the smart GPS helicopters that I had. So you do get a long flight time, 10-12 minutes, I think, about that. I didn't time specifically, but it seemed like a long time to me. And I was kind of doing 2 flights per battery for the video I was shooting. So that's good. Also nice that you can charge them just with the cradle and your own hobby charger if you want to via that XT30. Flight characteristics: took off and landed in low rates and switched to high rates for fastest possible speed when I was flying around beyond that. Takeoff, really nice, because some other micro helicopters and stabilised helicopters I had do tend to, you know, you start up your arm by putting the sticks down to the outside to start up the rotor, left stick to go up and start your climb off the landing pad, and then some of them do jump into the air. This one doesn't. It just take off to 1 or 2 inches and then you can gain altitudes. That's quite nice in scale. You do want to try and fly in a scale way, right? Landing, switching to low rates again, and the problem is if you try and approach the landing pad too low, sort of less than a foot, you can easily start getting this toilet bowl effect and it doing this and it looking horribly not scale at all. So you want to kind of come over sideways or whichever direction about a foot so that you don't get that ground effect, and then use auto landing or just progressively land firmly like that, and disarm as soon as you touch down, I would say, so there's no probability of it jumping back in the air again. When you switch to high rates, after you've taken off, it does fly reasonably fast, but not super fast. It won't pitch forwards like that because it is a stabilised helicopter, and they have programmed it so there's minimum possibility of you crashing it and it becoming destabilised while it's flying. And I think that's a good thing. It flies fast enough that it could get out of line of sight and you not understanding its orientation, particularly this scheme because it's all dark green or black, and it could easily kind of not which way around is it. I had to fly it relatively close to be able to understand that, but the navigation lights on either side do help. The other thing I'll point out is there is a nose light in this, and it didn't show in the video because it's come unplugged in mine. You'll see that the wire from this light goes into a little plug that's between the 2 front seats. Now I'm in the process. They would have done that when this canopy wasn't on there in the factory, but I haven't quite figured out how to get that plug in, but I will do that. It's just a bit fiddly and I need to use some tweezers to do that. I will do that later on today. So that's flight characteristics, pretty good. And the other thing about it is the scale detail. Normally on these helicopters they don't have any detail inside, but because they have gone to the effort of adding opening doors, and there's 4 doors on this MD500, they've actually put a cockpit inside as well with a stick. And because there was space, I took the opportunity to put in my Insta360 Go3 action camera and just use a bit of Velcro for that flight to hold that inside, and it coped with the weight, absolutely no problem at all. And I also used my pivot mount to put it on the outside as well, just again with a little bit of Velcro, and that worked really well to give you the external view as well. So all in all, nice. Enjoyed flying it. It's available in different schemes. I'll put the link in the video description and the pinned comment if you want to look up the price and the spec and anything else. But that's it. Thanks for watching Essential RC. If you aren't a follower or subscriber, maybe you'd like to do that. That's free. But if you would like to contribute to and support the channel, then you can do that with a small
monthly payment, like a price of a cup of coffee or something like that, and by virtue of doing that you get instant access, immediate access to all the videos that I upload, because I only put a video public every couple of days, but I certainly have, I think, a couple hundred of other videos, and sometimes do a lot of videos in one go and upload them in one go, and members get immediate access to all of those. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.